All the conditions are here for it to be a very emotional week, okay? Because we've had the time change this last weekend, okay? We've got, what else is going on? We've got a full moon on Tuesday. On Tuesday is both full moon and election day, both of which can be very emotional. Also, there's a lunar eclipse on Tuesday, the day this blog comes out. And I'm told it's a beaver blood moon. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means, but it sounds pretty intense. Okay, and I love beaver medicine right now, so hopefully it'll be good. But anyway, a lot of emotion. Okay, and I'm going to focus on more the time change and the going into winter part of this because I guess it's I have the most expertise on that, and B, it seems like that's the one thing that maybe I can do something about, right? The election, at least at this point, not so much. Certainly the full moon, that's going to happen regardless of what I do. So I want to talk in terms of kind of the medicine wheel, and the medicine wheel or the wheel of life. It follows, well, it's a ceremony. Actually, we're going to do it during our spring equinox ceremony. We're going to do this really cool medicine wheel. If you want to join, you can check that out on my website at naturalwaybeing.com for the spring equinox ceremonies that we're going to do. It's a ceremony, but it's also a philosophy. Okay, it's kind of a way of seeing the world, and it tracks the cycles. It's Native American. But almost all primitive cultures, we call it indigenous cultures or aboriginal cultures, like earth-based cultures, all of them, a lot, they have wheels of life. They have medicine wheels in various forms. The most clear that I'm familiar with is Native American, and that's kind of what I want to speak to. But the medicine wheel is really based on the seasons and the cycles that nature goes through, okay, and how those cycles and seasons affect us, okay, and we are. So this medicine wheel, it's not just this cool philosophy. It's not a cool spiritual teaching. It's real. Like we are affected. We are part of nature. Okay, most of you that are watching that hopefully have realized this. It took me a while to figure that out, but we are part of nature. Therefore, we're connected to nature. We are nature. It's who we are. So we're affected by it. So we're going to feel different in the winter than we do the summer because we're, like the animals are doing different things. In the winter, they may be hibernating versus in the summer. The plants are doing different things in the different seasons. Now, I know this is kind of duh, but it's like we're really affected. Being part of nature, we're affected way more than I think we realize, okay, by the cycle of nature. So the medicine wheel tracks this, okay? It's like, in the spring is like in the East, in my tradition, it's springtime, and then in the South, it's summer, and the fall. In the West, rather, it's fall, and in the North, it's winter. So we're moving into the North. We're moving into the North, which I call the time of introspection. Because what's happening in winter, okay, there's less sunlight. Okay, it's dark, the days are shorter, the nights are longer, which is really emphasized by the time change. Okay, and so my visual reference is coming more inside. I can't, like summertime, it's like squirrel, like what's going on? There's all kinds of stuff going on, right? But in the winter, I'm almost forced, for some of us forced, to almost to go inside the day, and I'm not able to see or even distract myself as much with what's going on outside of me. So it's a natural time of introspection. It's cold, we're indoors more. Okay, the holidays, they're another whole thing that stir up emotions, right? Those are going on. We got Thanksgiving coming. That's another thing that's going on this time of year, right? We're moving into the holidays. But anyway, so it's a natural time to be introspective, which means it's a natural time to feel what's going on. It's a natural time to feel what happened over the summer and in the fall. Okay. And so, and it's a natural time to reevaluate like where we've been and where we want to go in the coming year. Okay. And so, and the time change is really significant because, you know, well, I'm in Bend, Oregon, but we kind of had this Indian summer and it was nice until like a week ago, 2 weeks, maybe 10 days ago. It was like nice out, you know. Then all of a sudden, you know, it gets cold and it got rainy and we got some snow like 3 days ago or something. We woke up and there was like snow. And then the time change, okay, is all of a sudden it's getting dark at like 5 o'clock and we're just like, what? It's like, you know, so this reality of winter kind of hits us strong, okay, when the time changes. Then all of a sudden we're thrust into, oh no. And then, you know, maybe some of you like winter, maybe you're skiers or whatever else, or others may be like, oh no, not a winter, you know, I have to be more introspective. I have to feel more. I have to deal with myself more. It's like I barely survived COVID winters, right? Now here we go again. I'm so not ready for this. So all of a sudden, so we may be like a little deer in the headlights. It's like, here we are. It's all of a sudden like instant winter. And that's why I think, you know, and obviously the sleep thing happens with the time change too, but I think it's emotional. I think that's why it hits us so hard. That's my theory. But anyway, back to the medicine wheel. So what do we do in this time of introspection? Like, how can we, my counsel to you would be, like, how can you embrace the time of introspection and winter rather than like avoiding it? So what does it mean? So I'm embracing feeling. I'm embracing reevaluating. I'm embracing dealing with things that maybe I've been putting off. I'm embracing going inside and noticing what's going on with me inside. It's a time, you know, and feeling as we go into the holidays, it's a time of feeling what my standing is with the holidays and the community and my friendships and who's been there for me and who am I, who's not been there, what friendships are drifting apart and which ones are coming closer together. It's like, it's a time that's kind of, we have all this time to think and to feel. And so how do we embrace that is we kind of, I would suggest we could consider surrendering to it. Like, and so allowing ourselves to feel, allowing ourselves when it's like, oh, I feel really depressed that it's wintertime. It's like, okay, what's behind that? Like, what is the depressing feeling? What are the depressing thoughts? Like, you could actually inquire about those, go into them, and, you know, deal with them head on rather than trying to avoid them. My theory is if we embrace, it's actually way less painful than if we try to push it away. It doesn't feel like that. We figure if I can distract myself, you know, then maybe I can dodge this bullet. Well, usually not. It usually gets worse, or it comes out in other unhealthy ways, like whatever addictions or whatever else could happen. But you know, but we won't get into those. We'll keep it positive. So if you could embrace the time of introspection, and it's like, wow, I'm feeling a lot. Like Tuesday, I'm feeling a lot. The election was whatever it was for you, scary or relief or terrifying or whatever it was. It's like, well, why is it terrifying? Like, you know, and that may be obvious, but what does that stir up in me? Okay, is it powerlessness or fear or fear for my kids, or like, what is it? You know, and when you have feelings, to allow yourself to feel them and to just stay with them for a while. Maybe you're sad for a couple of days. There's also a lot of grief that happens at the time of introspection. You know, you're dealing with loss that maybe you didn't have time to deal with during the summer because it was busy. So that's what I mean by embrace. And so that's my video for this week. And I hope you have an awesome week. And my suggestion is just like take a little time and allow yourself to feel and reevaluate your life at this time of introspection. And I didn't talk as much about reevaluating, but I did a little bit. You know, it's like this happened, so now, like reevaluating, like what's important to me now? What do I want to explore in this coming year? You know, what is it? You know, what matters to me? You know, and what am I drawn to, and what am I falling away from? What is like what no longer works for me, and what is working to me is working for me, you know, and what's going on with my community and all those things. Great time to inquire, great time to reevaluate, great time to feel. I'm sure that's just what you all wanted to hear. So anyway, have an awesome week. I will see you in a week, and watch out for that beaver blood moon.